What's up everybody, Sean Pierce Johnson here for another edition of Stompbox Saturday, and on the stomping block, well, it's not in front of me, it's down on the floor this week, and in front of my foot I got this guy. A true unsung hero, in my opinion, of the Jim Dunlop catalog, the Dunlop Rotovibe. Basically taking that classic Uni-Vibe effect, putting it in a wah-style enclosure so that it's easy to fit on a pedal board and easy to manipulate without having to have two completely separate units. Now, if you're familiar with Uni-Vibe units, either original or the various reissues that had come out on the market, you know that the original unit was this big honking piece of machinery that had an AC cord built into it and then you plugged into the wall. Not to mention, you had an external foot switch that you connected to the main Vibe unit to control the speed. Well, Dunlop, being the ever-ingenious people that they are, know guitar players and know that pedalboard real estate is a big-time issue. So a few years back, they took the Uni-Vibe circuitry, threw it into a crybaby-style enclosure in this very striking red finish with an awesome chrome treadle piece, and decided to, hey, why not put the Vibe and the foot controller in one unit? And that's exactly what we got here. Now, it's been on a lot of people's pedal boards. Zakk Wylde is most famous for using a Dunlop Rotovibe. It's also found its way onto the pedal board of guys like Jim Root from Slipknot and Stone Sour, and I even recall seeing it on Melissa Etheridge's pedal board, if you can believe that. But it's a really awesome sounding unit that can get you all the awesome Hendrix, Trower, Gilmour, anything from the classic Uni-Vibe sounds that you hear in all those great classic recordings you can get with this guy. So let's go to the floor, check out what this thing can do. Let's do it. Alright guys, down on the floor we got the Rotovibe. Let's take a quick look at exactly what we got going on with this pedal. As you can see, it's built into a wah style enclosure, typical of any Crybaby or Clyde McCoy wah that you would see. And it's bright red finish with the chrome treadle, and the controls are all really simple. Now, of course, you're going to control the speed of the effect with your foot using the rocker pedal right here. There's one knob and one button on it. The knob right over here is how you control the depth. So you can get it pretty much from full on all the way up. You're hearing it all the time. Or you can dial it all the way back and just get that subtle effect of it. And at its lowest setting, it's hard to notice. So what I usually like to do is I like to run it, turn it up all the way, and then just dial it back just a hair. And so I get a nice balance of my original tone, but I really hear that undulating swell that you get from the classic Uni-Vibe sound on it. Now the button on it is a little bit harder to access, but if you got it at the very beginning of your pedal board, it'll be a little bit easier to handle, and that is this little guy right over here. And all that does is it selects the two different modes that the Rotovibe has. Now what you hear me playing right now is sort of the classic quote-unquote chorus setting on the Uni-Vibe. And that's a little bit more washy, wavy. I like to think of it more as kind of a really deep set phasing kind of sound, and as you can hear, it's got that classic tone. The other setting, if we kick it out, is the vibrato setting. Now this one is a little bit more choppy, it's a little bit more extreme in its effect, and it really does a great job of producing what an actual vibrato effect is, and that's pitch bending. So right now, I'll just roll it all the way up so you can really hear what this vibrato does. And let's just play some single notes and then we'll play through some chords so you can really hear how that sounds. Now with the vibrato setting, I typically like to dial the depth back all the way and then kind of bring it forward just until I get a slight pitch bending. And when I blend that in with my chordal playing, it kind of replicates exactly what I do when I use a Bigsby vibrato system. Just a nice subtle vibrato to kind of give some chords new life and even brighten up and make some arpeggiated patterns interesting. So let's check some of that out. So it's pretty easy to dial in a lot of awesome tones with this, but of course, how I love to do it is just run it with the normal chorus setting, get that classic Uni-Vibe sound, just roll back the depth a little bit, and then just go to town a la Hendrix, Trower, and all those other guys. Now, one of the other cool things I really like about this pedal is just how expressive you can get with it. You don't really have to just set it and forget it. With the foot control, it really allows you to dial in the speed of the effect and kind of enhance subtle passages in your playing. So at the top of the video, I was doing a riff similar to Bridge of Sighs by Robin Trower. Now, the cool thing with this is when I get into some of the lead parts, I can increase the effect to kind of give new life to just a sustaining note. So let's check that out. So there's your look at the Dunlop Rotovibe. I hope you guys enjoyed those tones because from Hendrix to Trower, this has been all over some of my favorite guitar recordings since the 60s, 70s. It's all over the place. It's a classic pedal, and this is a really great pedalboard-friendly design, and I think that this pedal deserves a lot more credit than it gets. So chances are you'll be seeing this on my next pedal board, and I hope you guys stick around for next week's edition of Stompbox Saturday. And until then, happy stomping and cheers.